starting.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Beavers Batch. So today we'll be doing an in-depth spoiler review of Kalki 2898 AD, the recent big film from India, Nagashwin, Prabhas, Amitabh, Deepika, etc. Bunch of cameos that we'll be spoiling. So if you have not watched, do not listen or watch our video. But yeah, we can do this in like our regular like review format, talk about scenes that we liked, talk about stuff we didn't like, and then like overall, like we'll give a rating at the end. So, how do you guys want to start? You want to start with stuff we didn't like first?
Yeah,
Can you give
yeah.
like
I
an
mean,
overview of what our thoughts are first?
Yeah,
yeah,
we can do
yeah. Do an
overview too.
overview.
Sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So we have.
You can go
Oh,
ahead. Oh,
forgot to
I forgot to
mention. Yeah,
introduce
yeah.
our reoccurring guest, Anis.
Reoccurring
So
or main cast member? I don't know.
yeah, at
Yeah,
this
it's like
point,
the
yeah.
third or
Yeah,
fourth
hey guys.
episode.
It is me, Anise, again. I think I really liked this movie. I didn't watch the trailers going in. Actually, I saw the one that released 3 weeks ago, like the first one. And then I didn't like that. So I was like, expectations chala loga petkunna. But when I went in, I was so impressed. And I'm glad I didn't watch the more recent trailer. But that's my overview.
Nice. What about you, Abori?
Yo, I thought movie was crazy,
Wait, you're like
but uh,
buffering.
He has such a way with words.
Yeah.
Such a
wait, am I still
poet.
buffering?
Nah,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Oh, on my end, you're kind of
He's
buffering.
he's
No, yeah,
You're
he's
buffering.
lagging.
buffering for sure. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
should I like leave and come back or
No, no.
Sure. I
Yeah.
mean, if you want to
Okay.
restart it, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I think he's fine now, actually. All right.
If
Not
you're left.
anymore. Sorry
All
for
right.
the technical difficulties. We're also operating on a time limit because
I
I
do
don't have
have a
my
question.
brother's premium
Are we
Zoom.
videotaping this?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You always ask us this, and you're always shocked when we say yes. Uh, yeah, I'll wait for Sai to join. He can give his thoughts.
That's fine. You go. You can go in the meantime.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, um, I, I liked the movie
He's
less and
forcing
less
himself.
as it went on. So basically, it started off like I really, really liked it. I liked interval bank చాలా నచ్చింది. I liked the entire first half. So నేను ఆన్లైన్ ఏం చూసానంటే, contrary to my opinion, a lot of people seem to have disliked the first half, at least online discourse, because it's setup heavy, and people loved the second half. Me, I loved the first half. I think I liked it more than Psy when we discussed it. But then the second half just kind of like took a nosedive for me, and I'll explain why later. But I'd say it's decent. I mean, I'm definitely disappointed, but it's also on me and the country. Like I had crazy high hopes, especially after the second trailer. First trailer, I didn't like it either, but the second trailer I thought was amazing. But yeah,
Yeah, like I had like complete like opposite opinion. Like I thought first half like I didn't hate it. Like people online were saying like yeah, it's boring. We slept and I didn't think it was that bad. Like I thought it was actually like a like by the interval point, I thought it was a good movie. Like it was like a solid like maybe a 7 or like 6.5. Like it was a good watch. But for me like the second half really ticked it up a lot and got it to like what my score is now. But yeah, the complete opposite of a kill. Like I thought second half was better. And especially that ending was I thought was crazy.
wait, can I elaborate a little bit? Am I still buffering?
No, you're good now. You can go with your
yeah,
All
yeah.
thoughts.
right, so I thought, yeah, like I said, I thought movie was crazy. So there are obviously like a bunch of negatives that I like noted down, but overall I think the positives just outweigh the negatives. The first half, like you guys are saying, like more of a setup, but just like having that background knowledge going into the second half is like I thought was super important. Um, and the second half was just crazy, I thought. Especially the ending. I thought they ended off really well. It was kind of like a cliffhanger a little bit, but I feel like it wasn't like a movie where the whole movie was just setting up for the like a franchise. I thought they did a good job of like including everything, and yeah.
Okay.
All right. With that, I guess we can go into stuff we didn't like. I can kick us off with like one point. So I want to mention like up until like the interval, I thought there was definitely a lot of stuff that I didn't like in the first half comparatively to the second half. But one of the main things I didn't like was the whole like Disha Patani like role. I thought that was one of the biggest negatives of the whole movie. Like her whole scene with Prabhas, like her entry and everything, I thought was okay, whatever. If this is all there is, then okay, I'm fine. Like let's move on. But then like we t see the whole like complex scene of them going into the complex, and then they have that mini dance episode. That part, like I really thought was just a huge roadblock to the whole movie because the point was like he needed to go to the complex to kind of see what it was about. And there could have been better ways for them to get him there and to show the complex even. I thought the first like minute or so of him entering the complex and seeing like the nature and the water and everything was like cool. But yeah, that whole dance sequence, like I don't know, I thought it was just a roadblock and I was kind of waiting for him to just hurry it up and move on with the movie. But yeah, that was one of my like biggest negatives. Like that, like what is that, like a 15-minute block maybe with like the whole like Disha character, like I thought was kind of unnecessary and they could have just written a more interesting way for him to go to the complex and see everything. I don't know what you guys thought about like the whole
You know the
Disha.
song that comes when they're at the complex?
Yeah,
They got a
Yeah.
Chalavest.
yeah, the ta 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 ta
Stupid.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
On that
Yeah,
note,
no, I agree with you.
I thought the music was disappointing in general, dude. There was some moments where like the climax especially such a ama like I mean I didn't okay. So and I didn't like the climax, but like in that moment I just thought, damn, if we had like Kiravani or someone better, I think that moment could have been elevated because it just Santosh Narayan was just it was I thought it was disappointing. Um there was like some highs, interval scene. I thought we were about to have a crazy high, and then the music I was just like, damn. So I didn't appreciate yeah, I didn't like the music and that song was terrible, dude. Like seeing
Yeah, I
Prabhas do
mean
that hook step was disgusting. Like I
the
love
songs in
Prabhas Kenny.
general I thought were very like very very bad. I think there's like one other song.
The
Um,
Punjabi one?
Oh, the Byra Ant. Yeah, that one's like all right. It's fine. But
Yeah.
there's like another one that I think they sing. I don't know if it's a song, but they sing it in Shambhala. Like they're all like by that tree and they're like singing something. So I don't know if
Yeah.
that's like an official song or just part of the movie, but like I thought that was kind of dumb too. But no, I see like I thought like overall like the background music was fine. Like it was passable. It could have been a lot better. Like yeah, like Kirwani could have done a lot better job for sure. But for the ending climax, like I thought it kind of hit the notes that it needed to, like for me at least, to think like, oh, some like crazy stuff is going on, and it does elevate it to an extent, but I could see how it could be better also. Like I wasn't like upset by it, but I also could see how it could have been better. So I wasn't, yeah, like I'm in that like, category for that climax.
For one of my negatives, I felt like they had a lot of setup, right? The first half entirely was just setup, but I still came out of it having so many questions. Like Shambhala gurinchi nake asala, they didn't give enough information about like their resources, like how these people are functioning. They gave a bit of information about the main world, but a connection and sariga cheyaledu. I don't know if you guys felt the same way about that.
Yeah, like Shambhala, like I mean, I kind of saw it as like a Wakanda thing. Like, like even the way you enter it is literally like Wakanda. Like you just kind of crash into like a mountain. And I think like Wakanda, you just kind of fly into something also to like enter it. But I thought of it as like, yeah, it's like a secret world that somehow has, yeah, you were saying like resources, like we don't know how. Um, and yeah, people are still surviving there, and that's kind of where the rebel base is. But yeah, other than like those few details, like there's not really much that they showed. But I agree, like the Shambhala stuff was a little like again, another one of those points where I was like, all right, let's get it moving. Like, like I didn't really pay attention to it.
I'm hoping that in the second film they'll have more information about these things to like completely cover the world properly.
Yeah, so I agree with you guys, like Sai, especially like the complex, just that whole sequence. I thought that was kind of like it could have been done better. That song, I feel like it kind of takes you out of the rest of the movie a little bit, for those like for that sequence or whatever. And even the music, like I feel like it's kind of hit or miss. And I wish like the BGM was like way better. Like for example, in Bahubali, like each of the elevation scenes like has crazy BGM, and I thought that like just made the movie so much better. And I feel like this movie does have a lot of potential for that kind of stuff, but I feel like again, I just thought it was kind of hit or miss. Another like a couple other things that I didn't really like were I feel like the dubbing was also like kind of iffy. I know they like I think they used a different dubbing artist from the trailer for Deepika. So I think that was a I think they did, but I think that was good. And I also think Amitabh Bachchan did like a really good job with dubbing, even though he's like a Hindi speaker. But everybody else, like even like the character artist or whatever, I feel like it kind of sometimes took me out of the movie when, you know, it wasn't so fluent like Telugu and everything. But yeah, that's like one thing. Another thing, the dude Commander Manas or whatever, he's supposed to be like a pretty ruthless villain. Like he kills like a baby, like Mrinal Thakur's baby in like I forgot what scene when it is, but he's supposed to be ruthless. But I feel like I didn't even think of him as like that strong of a villain. Like I could see how Kamal Hassan is like a pretty strong villain. He seems like super powerful and stuff like that. But the Manas dude, I feel like there was not as much impact with that. I feel like it
Yeah,
would
like
have been way crazier if he
when
was
when he
like
sorry, go ahead.
worse or something like this. But yeah.
That guy was the worst. In my opinion, he was the worst actor in the movie. Like
Also, his dubbing was ass too.
he's not a
Like
bad actor. I've seen him in Hindi. He's actually really good, but holy shit, he got the worst dubbing in the whole movie. And there were scenes where like the dubbing, dude, ante, like in Kamal Hassan's introduction scene when he's killing the white guy, me and Sai, like I was just laughing because it's like supposed to be a serious scene. This white guy is like butchering Telugu. And I'm like, I can't take it seriously. This is supposed to be
Bro,
such an epic scene.
that was so like 2010s like Telugu movies. Like,
Yeah,
you know, when they have white people in them and the
yeah.
dubbing is like
Yeah.
terrible. I don't know why they did
They
that.
I think
They
I
could have just
feel
had the person talking English. Like it's you're making
Dude,
an
he was
international film, right? Like just have the guy talking English.
um yeah, so I have the most flaws with this movie, so I'll just quickly run through them and then we can praise it because we haven't said a single good thing about it. Or you guys can share more negatives. But for me, I had zero emotional connect to the movie. Like frankly speaking, in movies like obviously I don't want to compare it, but in movies like Bahubali, when the villagers are being tortured, Avani Chupistaru, like you feel emotion, you're waiting for Amarendra to come and save the day. Here, when Mrinal Thakur died, first of all, what a waste of Mrinal, what a waste of Dulkar, what a waste of Rajendra Prasad, what a waste of the actress that plays Kyra, what a waste of Viran's character, who's a fantastic actor in Tamil. Like all these people, and then Shobana just dies. Like the lady in Shambhala, she dies. No one bats an eye. Kyra dies, and it's like just movie just moves on. Um, DQ, I felt like Bulgar's backstory. I didn't feel any emotion for Prabhas, and Prabhas is such a selfish character, and it's like it just didn't work. And same with Murnal's story, and even when they're like showing the treacherous things committed by Manas, and Kamal Hassan, you don't really see it. I mean, I saw a post on Reddit and I very agree with it. It feels like Nagashvin made almost like a kid-friendly Disney type movie, because we don't see the depth of the real evil, you know? I didn't feel any emotional connect. I didn't want, them to, I don't know, not still connected because characters die, stuff happens, and there's no emotions. And one thing like Rajamouli did with Bahubali is emotions are so strong. And in this movie, the visuals are amazing, top class. And the retelling of the Mahabharata is really cool too. But I just felt that there was so many cast members, so many deaths in the movie, and like there was no emotion behind it. Only time I genuinely was like, damn, she died was Kyra. Like Kyra's death actually, I was like, damn, that sucks because I thought she was a really cool character. But when Shobana died, when Rajendra Prasad died, when Murnal died, I was like, I frankly, particularly. And that backstory is devalued because Buji's like he says a different story every week. So the Nizamagada, like we don't even know, you know. So I'm just like, why include that story? Because I don't empathize for Prabhas, right? I don't empathize for any of these characters. So it made me hard to root for the movie. Um, it just
I
felt
think I
too
agree.
clean. Yeah.
Like I agree and disagree like on certain things. Like I agree that like the some characters and their deaths are like kind of like dumb and useless, like Myrtle and Rajendra Prasad and all those people in the beginning of the movie. But I disagree that they haven't shown the evil of like I guess the empire or the supreme leader or whatever, right? Because you can see like the clear difference of like them living in the complex and then like all the poor people living in Kasi still. Like they show people fighting for things like food and stuff like that. When they're like setting up that whole area. So I think like juxtaposition was done fine, like between the rich and the poor. But yeah, with certain character deaths, like I agree, like it was kind of wasted and you don't really feel anything for them.
And I just and like I said, right, the second half, my biggest problem today was just too fight heavy. You can't have one, in my opinion, you can't have one half set up everything and have a full setup half and have one other half be a full fighting half. I said I felt like there was a lack of balance. I mean, the entire second half was like three big fights. Amitabh and Prabhas face off, Amitabh and Prabhas face off again, and then up to Karna reveal, which didn't click with me because I was like, where the hell did that come from? Um, and like I said, Vijay Deverakonda just like,
That was my
he
main negative. That was one of my
yeah,
main
he
negatives.
genuinely like I know people think it's like people are being I know people think that he's getting too much flack, but dude, like
No, he deserves it.
you can't have a scene with that much impact and have one of the two people in the scene. It's only Prabhas and Vijay Deverakonda and Amitabh giving narration. You cannot have Vijay in such a powerful scene because he literally
Wait, I
talks like he came. Yeah,
I
yeah,
have a
yeah,
question.
yeah.
Rather have as Arjuna than outside of VD.
I'd much rather have Rana.
Rana
Uh,
would be a prime choice.
yeah,
Or I would even say NTR would be like a crazy choice.
Do you
But
guys
yeah,
did you guys also hate his dialogue delivery?
oh yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that was
That's his
actually
biggest
what I
problem as an
hated.
actor. Yeah,
Yeah, that was what I hated the
he
most.
looked good. He looked the part. He's a
Yeah.
fit guy. He had the hair and everything. He had the stature. I just wish they dubbed him. Frankly speaking, like there's nothing wrong with dubbing an act like Deepika. I don't even know if Deepika was dubbed because her voice sounded
I
exactly
think it
like
was her voice, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, which props to her because
Yeah.
she did really well.
Because in the
But
trailer it was bad. Like that one dialogue she says in the trailer was like atrocious, but
the
I don't know, I
Pranam
guess they
dialogue.
fixed it or like I don't know, something happened.
But that
Did
was
you
that
guys
was my flaws.
okay.
It just fell short of being a great movie the way you guys saw it. Um, Once again, Ante, like I'm glad it's making so much money. I'm glad we're getting more recognition. If this movie's a hit, I'm happy. I don't want it to flop. I just think that like it was really hard for Naga Ashwin to balance emotion and action, and I just felt like the movie was just it lost its soul in the second half. There's just too many fights going on, too little story movement, and I didn't like the climax. But those are my flaws. If you guys have any more, yeah.
Did you guys also hate Krishna's voice, or were you guys okay with that? It's
I
like
was
No,
fine
I
with that.
thought his voice was fine. Yeah,
Actually liked how
There is like a tinge of accent to it, like it's not full blown because it's the Tamil guy that did it, Arjun Das.
Zimbas, yeah.
So yeah, like when you hear his Telugu, it's not like, pure Telugu, but it's still like his voice has that power to it, so it's fine.
with Sai, you were saying something.
wait, I forgot. Oh, I was just saying like I kind of liked how they didn't show his face, like Krishna's face.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
another thing, like, dude, I don't know. I kind of agree and disagree too. Like, I agree with the fact that, like, I mean, like you said, like there wasn't as much emotional connect. That's probably true. But the cameos, like, I liked it to be honest. Like, even when Ronald Thakur came or DQ or even VD, dude, I didn't mind it to be honest.
yeah.
So
I
So yeah,
just, I
I wouldn't have
yeah,
minded Vijay's cameo, but he just came at like such an important part, man. That's the problem.
I
Like I
agree.
think he definitely devalued that climax, like
Can
to an
I say
extent.
something unhinged?
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
first
go.
no setting go okay cinemati before you do cameos in
Yeah, with
other
He
people's
can't
Nagashvin.
even do that. That's why he's doing cameos.
like
Like my favorite cameo was like the Rajamouli and RGV one because it's like
Yeah.
they're fun snippets, but like yeah, like Sai, like yeah, we're probably being too harsh, but it's also like for me in such a serious climax, you have someone that I can't take seriously, so then it devalues the climax
I,
for me.
I agree though. I agree. I think Rana would have
Yeah,
been better for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Dude,
just
RGV's got like the loudest like yell in our theater. Like when he
yeah,
showed up, people were going crazy. Probably more than like when Prabhas entrance. Like I'm not even kidding. Like that's how many people started yelling.
yeah. Vijay got a lot of cheers too, so he has fans. I mean, we're just just none of them
And
are in
then they
this.
heard it. No, no, he got his fans when they showed his face. And then as soon as he started speaking, I heard the people next to us laugh. Like we were laughing too, but like I heard
Yeah,
the
I
people
was
next to us
dying.
laugh.
Ashwatthama. I was like, dude. It's like, dude, relax, relax. But those are my negatives. So if you guys have any more, we can just move on to positives. But yeah, I mean, I don't expect most people that watch this video will not agree with me, which is fine. You know, it's good that most people liked it. Uh, so the people that do agree with me are not on this goddamn podcast. They're not. They couldn't be featured on today's episode. So yeah. Um, but yeah, I think those are my thoughts. So if you guys have any more negatives, we can. Otherwise, we can move to positives.
Do you guys have anything else? Anis or Buri?
Okay, cool.
No negatives. Okay. Yeah, I think we covered like most of them. Like from what I can remember, those are like my main negatives was yeah, the VD stuff in the climax and then the Disha stuff. And then in the first half, like just the pacing of it, I think was the main problem. They paced it wrong. It's not the content. The content I think was fine, but it was just going at like a snail's pace. Um, and they could have cut some stuff out easily and made it more, you know, spiffy to like move along. But yeah, other than that, I didn't have many negatives.
Yeah. All right, cool. We can move on to stuff that we liked. So Sai and Anise can you guys can take over. You guys love the movie, right? What was your like what did you like the most about it?
I'll let Aburi talk first.
All right, so obviously the first thing I liked how they intertwined mythology with the future. I think that was like really nicely done. Especially the Mahabharata scenes. Like I know you guys were talking shit about VD, but like everything else like, in general, like I thought the visuals were cool. Oh, but there is a negative actually. I forgot to mention. I thought the Amitabh's face, like I thought that was bad. They should have just like in the Mahabharata scenes, I feel like they should have done like they should have like casted like Abhishek Bachchan or something. Just like a younger role. I don't know. That was just my opinion. But I thought the animation was just like really bad, like the de-aging stuff. But outside of that, I thought the Mahabharata scenes like were crazy. And even like Prabhas's entry as like Karna and everything, I thought that was cool. But yeah, just like the whole intertwining mythology in the future. I thought the casting was good too. I thought Prabhas did really good. Amitabh, I think he was like, I think he should get like a special mention. Just overall, like I think the impact that he had as like, I don't know, I think he fit perfectly for Ashwatthama. Even Deepika I thought was good. The only negative I would say would be like Disha Patani, but even her, I hope she has like a bigger role in the future and like because she's in Complex or whatever. So I hope she has like a role in like I guess taking down like I don't know like what something like that. But I would say like in terms of casting, that would probably be my one negative. I already mentioned the cameos. I thought the visuals and just like the imagination, like because like Mahabharata, there's like so many like books and stories and like descriptions and stuff, but like imagining like a future takes a lot more work and creating weapons, like costumes, everything. I feel like that takes so much imagination, so much work. And I think they did pretty good. Um, yeah, I don't know, like just portraying like the three different regions, like Shambhala, like forgot the other two can complex and like Kasi has like different worlds. I thought they did great. The visuals, like I think I already mentioned that. The world building all kind of goes in like hand in hand. And I feel like the impact it creates like overall, like after the movie, I kind of went on like a rabbit hole, just reading like stuff about the Mahabharata and like just watching videos and stuff like that. I feel like for people our generation, like who might not know as much, I feel like it's crazy. Like, you know, they're kind of I saw on Reddit there was like Arjuna versus Krishna or Karna like fan wars or something like that. And I saw like someone make like a points table of like the people like I don't know, like the battles won or something. And I was like, that's crazy. So I feel like just introducing like that story to this generation, just like creating an impact, I feel like that's really cool.
Anis, what about
I
you?
agree with everything Aburi said, but I'd also like to add, like, I'm really happy for Prabhas in this movie. I feel like the past five or so movies since Bahubali, I just hated all of them. I've been a Prabhas hater for like the past 6 years, but it could, you know, I was like so impressed with him, so happy, and he was like, finally, he had like a chill character that, like his dialogues were also kind of fun. His interactions with like Brahmanandam and the other cameo appearances were also really nice. But I'll add things as people talk about him.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree with all the stuff that you guys said you liked. My main positive for it was definitely the how they mixed, like Oburi was saying, like how they mixed Mahabharatam into the whole story. I think that was like the thing that stood out for me the most. I mean, everything else you can kind of draw parallels to, like oh, this is from Marvel, or oh, this is from Dune, this is from Star Wars. But that's the one thing that is kind of like very new and fresh. And the way they did it too was also really cool. It wasn't like done in a cringy way. Um, and yeah, the Mahabharata stuff was like definitely the best stuff in the whole movie. Like,
I actually wish the
or-
Mahabharata sequences were longer. They
same.
give like such a
Yeah.
big high. I wish they were more elaborate.
Yeah. Like they always just reference it to kind of raise like I guess like the energy levels, right? So it's I guess it's okay that they did it to a lower amount because maybe if they did more, that it wouldn't have had that effect. But yeah, like especially the end, like when they reference it and they kind of reveal Prabhas, I thought that was like a crazy high to like kind of leave the film on. And that's what a lot of people, makes them forget, like, oh, the first half wasn't good, this, that, whatever, because you're kind of leaving on that high and you think the movie's like amazing, even though, in my opinion, there are still like flaws in it. Um, yeah, and then well, there's some other stuff that you were saying also, like I'll come back to it, but you guys can go ahead with other thoughts. Oh, Amitabh. I was gonna say, Amitabh was my favorite character in the whole movie. Like I loved him. I thought the way he was written and his whole flashbacks in the Mahabharata and everything was amazing, and he dubbed it so perfectly. Like his voice is just like it carries so much like power and like bass to it, and he dubbed it so well. Like you couldn't even tell that he wasn't like a native like Telugu speaker. Um, yeah, I thought his whole like action sequences with Prabhas were like awesome. I don't know how they did that with him at like his age, but I mean probably like stunt doubles, but like he did really, really well. And then Prabhas's characterization also, like I know a lot of like fans, like my friends that are fans of him from like the Varsham days and like all of them, like they thought like this kind of brought back that old Prabhas that's kind of like playful and cracks jokes that we haven't seen since literally pre-Bahubali. So I know like they were super impressed by that and that he still kind of got that charm to him if he's given some good material, right? Uh, so yeah, I loved him also in the movie, but I just liked Amitabh a little bit more.
Yeah.
I also like the Buji robot characterization that they created.
Hmm.
I didn't like how she always like contradicted Prabhat, so it kind of confused the audience too, like Akhil mentioned, with all of his stories, and she's like Adinisan Kadu. But
Yeah.
apart from that, I thought she was like a really cool comic relief.
Wait, like adding on to that, I feel like one thing I really liked um was the cartoons, like the two 15-minute cartoons. Like, yeah, like the animation probably wasn't the best, but I feel like it was like a new way to promote the movie. Just like kind of give like more of a backstory about the world, like without like it taking time in the movie itself. So I thought that was fun. I liked it. I know like some people didn't like it, but it's all good.
Yeah. Okay. So it says we have 9 minutes, 40 seconds. Okay, that's enough time. So yeah, I liked all the performances. I mean, just because usually I don't know how far viewers make it in. If they just watch like the first 15 minutes, they'll just think I hated the movie, but I swear I didn't. Visually speaking, I mean, there's not much I can say, but it literally just doesn't feel like this is the most gorgeous Telugu movie I think I've ever watched. Um, what they did is insane. And the fact that this is a Tollywood movie, I don't think there's any other Indian movie like this. Like I'm pretty in touch with like Malayalam, Kannada, and other industries, and there's nothing remotely close to this. This is only Nagashwin's third project. So what he aced it in terms of like executing the vision. And I'd rather have like a worse like a slightly worse script, maybe slightly less storytelling, but he still made the push, and anyone can see that. No, there was only like few moments where I thought the CGI was bad, but even then I cut them slack because it's only 70 million USD, which is insane. Because that's like less budget than most movies that we see. So I thought that was amazing. Like you guys said, Prabhas was great. Um, Kirti Suresh was great. Amitabh was amazing, and special shout out to Kamal Hassan. He's barely in the movie, but he's so intimidating. His voice is amazing too. Only actor, like I said, Manas, and I thought Viran wasn't great, which is weird because in Tamil he usually is. But then again, he was just given a straight face character.
He
I like
didn't have
Kyra too.
scope to do too
Huh.
much. He didn't have
Kind of
scope to do too much.
Yeah, exactly. I've
I kind
seen
of
him in Tamil movies. He's usually like a lot better, but then again, like his character just they'll probably show him more in the second part. That was all great. Visuals were great, and I really enjoyed the first half. I didn't find it boring. Like I found it boring maybe for like 5 minutes during Prabhas's intro fight. Got any rest of it I really liked. I love the world building. Um, I loved Kashi. It's a very cyberpunk aesthetic, so I like that. I like the complex. I wish we saw more of the complex, but there's plenty of more to come. Um, but yeah, okay, what more positives are there to shower on this movie? It's great. It's a great step for us. Like people in Bollywood are literally just so many haters of Prabhas. They're just whining and they're like, "Oh, Amitabh Bachchan carried this movie." I was like, "Dude, Amitabh movies don't even collect like 20 crores. Like his own solo movies are straight flops. So credit where credit's due. Prabhas, he's a star and always will be, even after fucking four flops and one average movie. Like that's the biggest star in India right now, and people need to put some respect on his name. But yeah, so I did like it. If you fucking made it this far, I did enjoy the movie. I just
Mhm.
have more critiques than people. Yeah.
Do you guys have any other positives?
And I think we covered them all.
Yeah, I think we got them. We mentioned the cameos. Yeah, I liked all the cameos except VD's, but
And
um,
Isha's.
I
and
thought we'd see
she
more of
wasn't a
like,
cameo. I think she was like a
Oh, a main
character in the
character. Okay,
movie.
my bad.
Yeah,
yeah. I wish we saw more of Faria because I thought she'd have a backstory. She was like trapped at the mansion, and
she.
then
I thought
She's one of the
how it
dancer girls.
looked, she was doing some sort of performance for the people there, like some
yeah,
sort of like stage show or something.
yeah. Her
But
and
that was
Anudeep.
really weird. They just kind of showed like 2 seconds of her,
I think she got that because she's a Prabhas fan, right? In real
probably.
life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they like
And
let
I
her.
I
mean,
think through like Jadrat Nalu connections, like she knew
Oh,
Nagashwin and stuff, and like they made
yeah,
it work.
well, this is a big win for Nagashwin and the Vaijayanti Film Studio.
Yeah, definitely a huge win. We
yeah.
have
I
to see
mean,
where it ends up, but I think right now it's at like 500 crores or something. So
Do you guys think it'll beat Bahubali?
two.
maybe one. I don't know about two.
Oh, okay.
It'll probably be one this week, and like the
Yeah.
next, like tomorrow or
I think
something.
I'm gonna go watch it again, actually. A
My
challenge.
wallet cannot afford too many viewings of this movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, we already opening night was
30
crazy.
bucks, right?
$30,
Fine.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, you know, give your money to them. I guess it's like well, it's 17 now. Hopefully, like that's fine. 17's not that bad.
Yeah.
But Sai, did you have anything else? No? Yeah. Yeah. I
uh,
wish I I wish we saw more Kamal Hassan, but I know he probably had limited time, like shooting time. They probably didn't want to reveal too much.
I saw something where apparently he's in like 60% of the movie or something in the next one. That I saw
I
it's
hope
on
so.
Reddit. But apparently they've already shot some of the next part
First
too.
man.
And he
That
they're
point,
all they're missing is that his parts and he's in the remaining like 60% that they have to shoot, like yet to shoot. So I feel like he's in a huge like part of the movie next in the next one.
wait, this is also a franchise, right? I think that's what I heard.
Yeah. At
Yeah,
the
like a
end,
whole
yeah.
cinematic universe. I think they'll have spin-off characters. Like they might spin off I don't know, like the Kyra people like that we saw, like they might spin off, I don't know, they might spin off into like different projects. Like maybe like someone might have a series or something like, you know.
But yeah, I mean, if we wrapped up our thoughts, we can all give our number score. So you guys want to, or guess you guys want to go first? Number
Yeah.
score out of 10.
Aburi.
I think it's like an 8.5 or
I'm gonna,
maybe
I was expecting a higher number than that.
yeah, me too.
like a 9.
A 9, okay.
9.
What
I'll
about
give it
you,
a
Anis?
10.
A 10?
A
Oh, a
10
10 out
on
of 10.
10. I loved it.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean we gave our scores in another like initial video that we shot, but I gave it an 8 out of 10 and I think I'll still stick by that. There are flaws in it, but I still enjoyed it a lot. It's not enough for me to say I loved it, but I like really, really, really liked it. Like for me,
Yeah,
like love is like 9 or 10, but it's like, almost there, but not there.
I think I said 7 in the video, so I stand by that. Only thing I ask is I think people need to stop Like I think people need to stop pushing it down other people's throats because that's how you get a fan, how you get people to hate a movie. Because there are people who just like there are people who cannot accept criticism of this movie. And I think obviously there's no one like that I've talked to in public, but I've seen it online. So I think it's just a bad precedent. Like people should be open to conversations and stuff because, if you just if you're like if you don't like this movie, you have a bad taste or bad opinion, then that's how you get people to hate a whole industry. So we just need less people like that out there. 'Cause I've seen so many poor souls get ripped apart for valid criticism, you know. But
I'd say I'm just really impressed that Tollywood brought something like this out.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
And
a
Tollywood
10 out of 10 for
Tollywood's like
that effort.
insane progression in the past few years. Like
Ever since Bahubali, it's just like, all right, we got to try to one up it. Like that's
yeah,
kind of like, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing that that competition exists.
yeah,
Should we
yeah,
end the video?
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess we can end it now since we all like gave our scores. Yeah. Thanks for joining, guys. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Yeah.